Show is brought to you by Ventura Training and Athletics. Show is brought to you by Ventura Training and Athletics. Restore, train, maintain. Specializing in the restoration of the muscular system to help you move and feel better. Combating TBI, PTSD, and pain through specialized strength training. Again, get your body right, get your mind right, defeat the demons.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, Joe, and our unpaid intern, Buddy. Today's special guests are Karen and Alicia, who will try and convince these grizzled war vets to care about feelings.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Welcome to episode 24 of the Trash Talk Hour. Special shout out to Ventura Training and Athletics and our other sponsor, Cardinal Financial. Also shout out to 10th Mountain Whiskey. Type in that VTT code and get yourself a discount. Special shout out to our guest, Karen, and her daughter, Alicia. We're going to talk about resiliency and all kinds of other cool stuff. Also, Karen taught Nick how to shoot experts, so that's a great fucking deal, all right? As always, I'm here with Nick, Joe, and our drunk buddy, SF guy, whatever you want to call him. Let's get the show started.
Dave, is it mine?
Oh, can you go back?
Do you
not read the script, Joe? It's your turn.
Do we
go
want
back
this
and say
minute?
not
Read the script, Joe.
Yeah, no, buddy, we're going. So I was just saying, Dave.
It's you, Joe. Over to you, Joe.
Dave Kobe the mic and just dropped it. So, anyways, dude, listen, if you've looked at the page today, you know my minute's going to be about talking shit because I, for the first time in a long time, I decided let's put some skin in the game. Let's just test the money out. And I posted my picks. You don't know anybody that can do a 6-fight parlay, let alone do 2 in one day. And I just did it. The only difference between me and the guys in Vegas is they don't know I exist. And when they do, it's a problem because I'm better than any one of them.
That's a
like
fact.
this thing that we're talking about is not a joke. Michigan just got a freaking fumble and a touchdown.
Joe, pay attention.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. The game's on. What do you want me to do?
The show.
Well, I'm doing both. Damn it!
All right, I'll cover Joe for you. Yeah, go ahead.
Listen. My point is, I posted those tickets to let everybody know. I think they think we're having fun and it's a joke and whatever. Bill and I picked a perfect card and we agreed that we would not pick against Gaethje because he was American. A month ago, we agreed this. So forget about the fact that Khabib won because we both had a pretty good idea that he was gonna, and we were gambling on the American kid we liked. So every other fight we picked won. And I went ahead and tripled my money today on Vegas, no problem. So when we tell you these picks are legit, go ahead and bet one time. And if you lose, then you can talk shit. But I guarantee you I will double or triple your money.
UFC Pick'ems every Thursday night. Check them out.
All right, so Joe, what's the status of the Detroit sports team right now? What we got going on?
Oh God! Well, they beat Jacksonville.
I saw that.
Can I celebrate a small victory?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right,
you can do it. You can brag.
Well, I enjoyed that. Okay. Michigan right now is winning.
Yeah, nobody cares about Michigan. All right, nobody cares about Michigan. They suck. But anyways, with my NFL picks, I also picked Detroit as a lock last week, which was very difficult.
Yeah, they smoked Jackson.
But I did it, and I was able to muster up that all that confidence. Okay. Anyways, what I wanted to say on the show that we did for the UFC Pick'em, honestly, what he's saying, those of you that are watching and those of you that are watching and listening later, is these guys are picking over 85%. All right, so if you watch their picks and just put a couple bucks down, you're going to make some money. All right,
I picked 10 fights. I made 10 fights today.
I made $200 off their picks today. Joe made like 1,200 or 2,000, whatever. Doesn't matter.
17.
1,700. Doesn't matter. The main difference is I could tell that they were too emotional about that Khabib pick. All right. So like you said, forget about that. They picked off their emotions rather than data. And as soon as Gaethje went to the ground, everybody, my buddy Jaime was watching, he goes, it's over. And
yeah, sure.
Khabib was so smooth in how he ended one of the best fighters in the world. Like, that dude's a bad man. That dude's a bad man.
Yeah,
but,
you don't have
he was
to
in his
like
eyes off zone. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
you don't have
to
smooth. Like him. He's the greatest lightweight of all time. And people keep talking about GSP coming back to take on Khabib. GSP will get put in a wheelchair. Point blank, period. Okay. Khabib's the toughest ever.
All right, Joe, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm good. I
I know you're
just
happy.
Gonna rant.
If you
I was just gonna rant about my good day.
You rarely have good days.
Oh, wait. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Dave.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dave,
guys, real quick.
No,
What's up?
Can we do a Facebook poll?
Dave
YouTube
has to
poll
hear
on
this.
Who thinks that Joe
Listen, Joe.
uses
I'm listening.
box hair dye for his beard?
It's
Yeah,
got
we need to
gray
find
in it,
out.
you freaking moron.
We need to find out if Joe actually uses dye on his beard. We'll do a poll on that on the page.
They're
let
still
the
talking
audience
about it.
decide. We'll let them figure it out. All right. So for the Book of Earl today, all right, I usually don't like to get political, but I'm gonna get a little bit political. All right, and it's also to set up our guests. All right, because our guests are phenomenal at what they do, and what they do is awesome. We lost Karen's podcast last time, but she's been on the show before. All right, but Karen's one of my most favorite people on the planet. All right, and like she is phenomenal, so you should listen to her. And it kind of goes into what my soapbox is going to be about.
Are you going to talk about how?
Hey, Joe, mute your freaking mic.
Are
Joe,
are you going to talk about how Karen
ball
taught you how to
went
not
flying up in the
miss
air.
every three
Michigan
Hey,
shots?
Joe.
And then have me
Joe.
on the other line with- Remember that
Joe,
time you
Joe,
had me on
mute your
line?
fucking mic. Mute your fucking mic when you're talking to your wife on the show. All right, we don't want to hear about your fights.
Yes, buddy. He's going to talk about that. He has to.
Anyways, so Joe's triggered now. We got Joe triggered. That's fine. Anyways, so I'm gonna draw something here. Okay, it's a bell curve. All right, I drew this. I did this. Nobody helped me. I did it
Freaking
on my
impressive.
own.
Good job,
Okay.
Nick.
It's impressive.
And I learned this from Karen, so this is good. All right, now I got this marker here. I'm going to use it too. All right. So now you have to listen to what the CDC says. Okay, the CDC says that we're 300,000 deaths more than usual. All right, that's the quote. More than usual. The reason they don't say more than last year is because there was more deaths last year than there was this year. Okay. More than usual is accurate because 19 was more than usual. 18 was more than usual. Okay. That's a fact. Okay. Those are statistical facts. You can't argue that. Okay. So now we're going to look at the coronavirus. Okay. And we're going to look at the bell curve of the average American. All right. That is where they believe and what they think. Okay. On the left here. Okay. Right there. That's where you have like Governor Cuomo. Okay. He's the guy that says, hey, open your nursing homes because that's a really good idea. All right. That's a really bad idea. Okay. That's going to kill lots of people. All right. And then you also have the people here that know the one person that died that shouldn't have died. Okay. And that's tragic. But scientifically, it's an anomaly, right? It's not a real factor in how we treat things. So there's that person over here that's like, you have to do this or we're all going to die. Right. That's over here. Okay. Then you go over here. All right. That's the right side of the bell curve. Okay. This is where you have like Florida, right? And like Texas, where it's like nobody gets coronavirus. All right, that's these people. Okay. These people think that this shit doesn't exist. All right. And like this is a bell curve. So in this area, we have most of America. Okay. The problem is that the media is speaking to these idiots. Okay. If you watch the presidential debates, they're talking to these two groups of people. They don't care about what you think here because you're an average American. You're probably not stupid. Okay. These people are dumb. They're fucking idiots. Okay, so we don't really listen to them. All right. The main thing, go back into the CDC, the reason we're having so many deaths, all right, more than usual is what they say, is because of how fucking unhealthy we are. All right. Do you understand that? Do you understand how fat this fucking country is? Do you understand how terrible the smokers, right? The smokers. All right. You got he smokes, and he smokes. All right. I'm not judging you for smoking because this is America. Smoke
Hey,
all the
Nick,
cigarettes
nobody
you want.
knows who you're
Hold
pointing
on,
at.
buddy.
Nobody
I'm
knows who
pointing at
you're
you.
pointing at.
All right.
They do now.
The two smart,
They do
hey,
now.
The two smart women don't smoke, okay? Because they're fucking smarter than you. All right. So, anyways, we know this, right? And I'm not judging you for smoking. I'm not judging you for eating fucking McDonald's. Okay? I'm not. It's America. Do whatever the fuck you want. All right. But guess what's going to judge you when you're 60 and you lived a bad life? All right. Coronavirus is going to judge the shit out of you. All right. It's going to judge you faster than you can fucking imagine. Okay. That's the judge. That's the judge. So when is the safety message going to come out? Hey, how about you go walk a couple miles today, you fat ass? All right. How about you just stop? Okay. I'm not judging you for being fat. Be happy. I don't care. All right. Smoke cigarettes. I don't care. Do whatever you want. It's America. Okay. But again, when you get to like the 50s and 60s and you have heart disease and you have emphysema, all right, like don't get mad at me for not wanting to wear a mask. All right. I don't want to wear a mask because I'm fucking healthy. All right. You want me to wear a mask because you ate fucking McDonald's every day. All right. And I'm sorry. Coronavirus is the judge, not me. I'm not judging you. Fuck coronavirus. Bell curve. All right. This is the majority of America. All right. Florida people, you can't get corona. New York people, everybody should wear a mask or you'll die. All right. And then we should open up the nursing homes. All right. That's stupid. You're on this side. All right. Or you're on this side. Be on this side. Be educated. Okay. Everybody knows, look, I just finished a graduate class in applied research and methods from the University of Texas, El Paso, which everybody knows is the Yale of the Southwest. All right. So I'm pretty much fucking Albert Einstein. All right. I just learned what a bell curve is. Okay. And I'm fucking using it. All right. This is you in Florida. This is you in New York and California. Okay. Like, be this guy. Be this guy that's healthy and like, and then takes care of like, and then we kind of let these people go that way. We kind of let those people go that way. But anyways, thanks for letting me spill that. I'm a little mad at the freaking Penn State Illinois game right now. So I got a little heated. I apologize. Said a couple F-bombs. But anyways, we have Karen.
Cheers, Nick. That was good.
We got Karen and Alicia here. All right. And like I've said, Karen's like my favorite. Alicia's a strength and conditioning coach, D1. And I know Alicia will get into it later. We're letting Karen go first, but we're going to talk about, well, they can talk about whatever the hell they want, but we're going to talk about how the fact that when you're 18 years old and you sign up for the Army, you're not an athlete. All right. You're not an athlete. You've never lifted a weight in your life. You never even played a fucking sport, yet alone. But the military is going to make your ass run fucking 5 miles every day right away. And then, oh shit, your back hurts and you got shin splints. Anyways, but Karen, we lost your podcast last time. We brought you on here to talk some awesome life coaching tips. And for those of you who are watching for the first time, Karen is the best person in the world. And I'm glad to have you on the show again, Karen. So welcome to the show. What you got to say?
Cheers, Karen.
Cheers. Well, Alicia,
Hey, Karen.
Alicia, aside from being a strength and conditioning coach, also has a dual master's in sports psychology. Like I have that same degree. So anyhow, pipe in too, Alicia. Let us know. So last time we talked a lot about homeschooling, but what exactly do you guys just want to talk about? Tips for COVID, or what would you like to hear?
Yeah, some resiliency tips for families and soldiers that are hurting right now, and what they can
Nick how
do.
to shoot expert. How you taught Nick how to shoot expert.
Because Dave couldn't do it when he was my team leader.
I couldn't do it either. He was shooting 13s. He couldn't even qualify, but you made it happen.
It took
Honestly,
me-
how did you let Dave shoot expert without having 3 people on the other lanes to shoot at his targets? That would be a good one.
Buddy, you mean Nick, not me.
No, he met you. You're
I met
European.
both of you.
You played soccer.
I met both of you.
It took
Everybody
me-
knows
Never
Germans
seen it.
can't shoot. That's why they lost WW2, buddy.
Let
So
Karen talk, buddy.
Yeah, buddy, let me talk. So I think the most important thing I can say is during this whole COVID thing, and I've caught myself doing it too, it's super easy to just get lost in unproductive thoughts and ruminate about, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And what if this happens? And so we're just draining a lot of energy doing that. And I got to a point where I just said to myself, you know, this has to stop. This is just making me go down a rabbit hole. It's not good. So back to what I teach is staying in the moment. And if you stay present and you work on the things that you can control, then that's productive. And you're also not siphoning all your energy over things you can't do anything about. So the caveat on that is you can't just stifle your thought. So if I'm thinking, what if I lose my job next month? And that's running through my head and I'm really, really worried about that. I can't just say, okay, I'm not going to think about that, because that's like a boiling pot of water and I'm putting a lid on it and eventually it's going to boil over. So I have to acknowledge it and say, you know what? I may lose my job next week. That can happen. Okay. But me ruminating about that in this moment isn't helping me or anybody else. So what can I do to be productive right now? And it may be something as simple as I'm going to go out for a walk, or I'm going to go on a 3-mile run. That's something I can do that's productive and it's good for me. So I think the main thing here is catching your thoughts, catching yourself when you're in one of those ruminating thoughts, going round and round about something you can't do anything about. And then, like I said, acknowledge it and move on to something that you can do something about. So that's my biggest thought for that. I'd also say when you feel yourself getting anxious and amped up, do the rhythmic breathing. So
Can you explain that rhythmic breathing real quick? I mean, I know the answer. Joe needs it a lot, so maybe explain that to him.
So can you put Alicia up at the same time?
Alicia just left.
Alicia left?
Yeah, she just walked away. She's back.
Sorry, my dogs had to go out.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to do rhythmic breathing, but I want you to show it while I'm talking. So go ahead and put one hand on your shoulder, one hand on your belly. I can't really see that, but that's okay.
Do it, buddy.
Are you going cross shoulder and then one on your stomach? All right.
Yeah, and one on your stomach. Relax, uncross your feet.
How'd you know they were crossed?
Buddy, your
What?
feet are crossed.
Drop your shoulders. Okay, what you're going to do is I'm going to give you a count and then you're going to do it on your own. But to start with, you're going to breathe in. So you're going to breathe in through your nose. And as you're breathing in, I want you to think about your belly as a balloon and you're filling it up with air. So your belly's going to stick out. And then when I say breathe out, you're breathing out through your mouth. So everybody's mouth should be opened and you're letting all that air out and your stomach's going in. Does everybody get that? If you're doing it correctly, you are breathing from your belly and your shoulders are not moving. So Alicia, your shoulders are going up. So if your shoulders are moving,
Alicia, knock it off.
you're breathing through your diaphragm and we don't want to do that. Okay? And I'll explain to you when we're done what this is doing. Okay, so everybody, if the shoulders are moving, you're not going deep enough on the breathing. Fill the belly up with air when you breathe in, blow out, and the belly comes in. Okay? Okay, so ready? And you, Alicia, you should be on there so they can see you doing it. Okay, so ready, in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep doing it.
Funny story, Nicholas. I'm a combat diver. We call this just breathing.
Yeah, well, guess what? Joe's gonna pass out in a second here from breathing this. He hasn't breathed like this in years. So
I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep.
I was watching
yeah,
the game.
exactly.
Good,
Exactly.
good. Okay, So normally I'd have you do it longer, but apparently none of you have an attention span greater than a 2-year-old.
Yeah, we're all children, Karen. You know this
right.
already.
Yeah. So we're so,
Karen, it's not that we
might
don't
need some
believe in it.
coaching
It's
on
that
that, Karen. We might need some
Karen,
coaching on that.
Karen, it's not that we don't believe in it. It's that we lack focus.
I
I'm
see.
sorry, I
Not
haven't
true.
seen Michigan play in a year.
Not true.
Not
First of
true,
all,
says the
Karen,
guy who cut the
so-
sleeves of the shirt.
Prior
No.
to
My
doing
wife said thanks for the
50
gun
meter
show, buddy.
underwater, this is what we do. Like while we're standing there and the instructor is telling us that we have to swim 50 meters underwater, this is what you're doing the entire time. And then you get out of your own
You're breathing
head.
in through your nose underwater, buddy.
No, you're an idiot.
Interesting.
You're
No,
above
she
the water
said
at
that you breathe in
point.
through your nose.
Oh,
so
hey,
how do you
look,
do that underwater?
everybody-
You said you
everybody
did it
that's
underwater.
ever been a combat diver, raise your hand. Shut up, Nick. You're an
Nick,
idiot.
it's a special forces thing. They just learned that. They
I
can
know.
swim.
That's why I'm trying to get clarification. Do you do that underwater? That's impressive. Like, how do you breathe in through your nose underwater?
It's
Like,
it's
yeah.
pre going underwater when you're trying to calm yourself down for the
There
fact
you
that you're
go.
about to swim half of a football field without coming up.
Oh shit.
All right, back to Karen.
So let me tell you
Oh.
why they do that before they get in the pool. So what that breathing does is it triggers a nerve called the vagus nerve. And what that does is it brings your blood pressure down, brings your heart rate down, your respiration, everything. So it takes you from fight or flight to rest and digest, brings everything down. So when Alicia said, I'm falling asleep, it makes you tired. This is an excellent thing to practice if you're having trouble sleeping or if you're waking up in the middle of the night. This will put you back to sleep. You just have to keep doing it. So anytime when your activation level is too high, and this is also what I teach people before they go out and shoot for weapons qual. We all do this. And if somebody's having a lot of trouble, they come back to me. I put a biofeedback device on them. I walk them through it. And when the light is green, which means they're ready to go, their activation's low, they go back out. That's how we got them to shoot.
So Nick's a
expert.
champ at this breathing technique, and it took him like 5 hours to learn it, but he got it.
Yeah, I'm a champ at everything, Dave, and you know
It
that.
took-
So
It was definitely 4 years for Nick to learn it, but he learned.
That's true. Hey, Alicia, welcome to the show as well. Welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. We had a discussion on Facebook Messenger, and also in one of the previous shows, we brought it up that the whole problem with some of the military PT, which we're starting to get away from, which is a good thing, is the fact that we try to treat our warriors like athletes. Okay. Now, there's a lot of warriors that are athletes, but the majority of the infantry are not. All right. And could you maybe explain that? If anybody important's listening, maybe they'll start to get the freaking clue about who you've worked with and what's the difference.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was guilty a little bit of that misconception early on. I was like, well, you're in the military, like it's a really important part of your job to stay alive. So like, why are you not an athlete? Why are you not training like an athlete? Why are you not behaving, recovering, et cetera, like an athlete? And then, you realize like, well, the entry level to get in is not necessarily based on athletics. So, you can have,
She's right.
your video game hero who's never done an athletic feat in their life can still sign up or enlist in the military. And so then, it becomes a question, in my opinion, of like, well, where does the burden lie? Is it on the institution or the individual to develop themselves athletically? And obviously, I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Both.
Yeah. So, when you do enlist in the military, like, I think you're in the middle of the bell curve. You treat it like anything else. Like, so I'm going to compare everything back to athletics, like having worked in, collegiate athletics. It's like, whether you're a walk-on or a scholarship athlete, like we have a standard of entry. So you show up on day one, like there is an expectation of what you should be able to do. And you better meet that. Like, I don't care if you're the star of the team or if you're, like I said, a walk-on. Everybody has that same standard and you hold them to it and you take pride in it and you take ownership over what you do. In that same breath, as strength and conditioning professionals, we do what we can to prepare each member of the team to meet our KPIs, our key performance indicators. So what makes you great at that sport? And it's going to be different for everyone. So I look at it in like two ways, kind of. It's like you have cognitive ability and then you have physical ability. And you can be a physical specimen, the most athletic person, and dumb as a brick wall, and you'll still be a pretty good athlete. And on the flip side, you can have a really high sport IQ and really just not be that athletic, and you'll still be pretty good at your sport. But I think what you want is a combination of the two. Like, those are your great athletes, right? They have high cognitive ability and high physical ability. And so you want to train the one in which they're lacking. So say, I guess, to relate it back to the military, like somebody who's more like geared toward intel, maybe they're really smart, but like they have a hard time passing the PT test. So you want to like bring up that side. Or you have like your high school state champion or college athlete, but they have a hard time with the mental side. So you bring that up. But that's the, as I said, like the burden of the institution. So it's like there has to be systems in place. And I think maybe that's where it falls short. So you don't just.
Are you saying like identify those people coming in?
Yeah, identify them and meet them where they are. So like going back to the 18-year-old, like if you're going to let, this video game hero into the Army or Navy, Marines, whatever it is, then you better be willing to meet them where they are and take them from that point A to point B instead of expecting them to be at this certain point. So it's a standard of entry, but then it's also like realizing as a professional, like what that standard of entry is, and knowing like not everyone is where you think they should be when they come in.
I think that is definitely an issue. I'm in recruiting now. I think the OPAT has helped out a lot.
What do you mean now, Dave? You've been recruiting for like 15 years.
17,000 years, right?
Being a pansy, and you didn't want to fight wars anymore.
Yeah. Anyhow, but we have the OPAT, so we do, based on the category of your job, we do give you that physical fitness assessment. So if you like you have a heavy job, if you're going infantry, then the OPAT score needs to be higher than say somebody who's trying to become a cook. So, and that was implemented, I don't know, about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. So I think that does help a little bit, but we do need to fix, there's a bigger, broader issue with people.
Right.
Dave. There it goes. There it is. There it is.
There it is, Dave. Is that your sergeant major calling you?
You better pick it up, Dave, or
just pick it up, Dave. Anyways,
now,
anyway, Dave's, hey, Alicia, what Dave's saying is right, and that's kind of what I was going on to about that the Army's going in the right direction. The only problem is we're not buying into it at the lower levels because the culture hasn't changed. Right. So that's the cognitive.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, the culture hasn't changed. Now, to put some perspective on it, Alicia, where did you used to work, and what athletes did you work with? And if you don't mind saying, like, what's the pay scale of your job for how many people you were working with? If you don't mind saying, when you were a Division I coach.
Yeah. So I was a Division I strength and conditioning coach at University of Kentucky. If you want to go like pay scale, it's pretty shitty. Not great for what we were. So I will say like pay scale, not great. However, like the resources that we poured into developing, from the walk-on to the scholarship athlete, incredible. So, they had access to the best of the best professionals, what to eat, food to eat, etc. And then where I am now, I'm in private sector. So I'm working at a private facility called M3 Strength and Conditioning here in Florida. We work with a lot of high school athletes and just people in the general area. And so going from high level athletes to general population, I had a big wake up call because I thought, okay, if I'm working with, general population, it's like they can't be any less athletic than like my worst walk on that I ever saw. And that is like so far from the truth because general population are like 20 levels below that. And so it's people glorify college athletics, but it's like that shit's almost easy. Like, try working with people that are hunched over a computer all day, that have never done anything athletic, that are obese, overweight, have medical problems. And now you're trying to get them just functional to live their lives. Like, that's what's difficult. And I think in the military, you get that wide range of everybody.
Yeah, thanks for that. And that perspective for anybody, if anybody listens to this later on, I know that we have some higher ups that listen to this. They don't necessarily watch it, but to listen to the podcast. Listen to that. All right. Listen to what she just said. All right. She worked for University of Kentucky. Okay. You get the cream of the crop basketball players, football teams on the up. All right. Like you're getting the women's teams are awesome there as well. So it's like you're getting the cream of the crop athletes. And when she went to the other side, which is more like the Army side, i.e. society, everybody else who isn't a Division I athlete, like you're not even on the same spectrum. You're not even close. Like Joe, for instance, he's not paying attention, but he's watching a Michigan game. Joe's a guy, right, that was really fast, but, he peaked in 8th grade and he never got bigger. So he was like 125 and then he stayed 125. And so like he was really fast, but he's not playing Division I football because he's too freaking small, right? Like it's just not happening, right? Like I was slower than Joe, but I was 6'3". So I got scholarship.
That so the cheerleader at all my football games could hear it because it's my wife.
Right.
Babe, Nick says I was too small.
Yeah, it's true. So anyways,
she's giggling at you.
And Alicia,
because of me. I promise you, I was faster than you, and I would have ran circles around you. I probably would have ran over you. It didn't really matter to me.
Joe, I said you were faster than me.
Small.
I said that. Okay. So, but I was bigger than you. So that's why scholarship schools gave me money, right? Because I was bigger than you. Right?
You could throw a left-handed curveball. That's why they give you money. Shut up.
It is what it is, Joe. It is what it is. All right. Anyways, but hey, Alicia, I appreciate that perspective. We all do. What would you say is the most important thing? I don't know. Put it at like squad leader level, like an E6 who's got 2 team leaders, E5s that they're probably in pretty good shape because they've been in the Army a while. They've grasped it. They got to where they needed to be. How do you get somebody strong? That's in that normal spectrum that you were talking about, if you don't mind.
So I don't
go to the gym.
Yeah, go to the gym. I don't think I think people make it way too complicated. Like most people, they just need a squat, hinge, push, pull, and some type of locomotion. So carries, running, etc. I think in your particular population, having an aerobic base or aerobic capacity is really important. Not to be able to go, do like 12-mile rucks or whatever that, but to recover in between your bouts of higher intensity activities. So, in layman's terms, like squats, deadlifts, presses, rows, some kind of weighted carry, and some kind of aerobic conditioning. And that's it. Like, it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need to pick up like some, like weighted weapon and carry it around for 4 hours or something, or, all of this fancy stuff you see on Instagram, like people doing with athletes on BOSU balls and whatever nonsense. Like, really, like you can milk the basics till the cows come home and you're going to get a lot out of that. And people overlook that a lot, I think. So that's
have you seen the new Army PT test, Alicia?
Yes, I have.
What are your thoughts on that one? Because I know, a lot of people probably want to hear that because there are a lot of people that are complaining about it as well. It says it's going to reduce our ranks for individuals that are male. I think it's pretty good. But what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, just like from looking at it, I think it's way better than the past one. It's more well-rounded.
100% agree. Yeah.
Specific. If you can't keep up with it, then maybe you need to reevaluate, your training and what you're choosing.
You're out. You're done.
Yeah. Looking at the standards, I don't think it's anything particularly outrageous that people are asking of. I think some of it, like the medicine ball throw, for example, requires a little bit more skill than just pure physical ability. And I don't know. I'm not I know the events and such, but I do think you have to look at how they stack upon each other. So doing it all at once, how are your legs feeling when you go to hit that run?
You have the 2-mile run at the very end of
that's tough. And so I think they have changed the times a little bit. But
hey Dave.
Yo.
I remember like a 14-day stretch where we kicked about 250 doors a day. And I remember the end of that 2 weeks.
Hey, you're gonna make Buddy jealous here, so
Thank
just be
you.
light. 'Cause
Listen, I remember because Nick was there. You had part of your ear shot off, and I'll never forget that walk that we took. Go ahead and take that walk. I guarantee you that would break most people. What we did on that trip. That's what we were so salty when we came back, because everybody was like, well, you know, what had happened while we were gone. But it was like, hey man, we fucking spent ourselves.
We were trained for it.
Period.
We were ready for that.
But Dave, when we got to the end of that place and you told me, yeah, it's good, man, go ahead and rack out because I'm going. And we all, every last one of us passed out because we were so dog tired. Tell me a guy who doesn't get himself in shape can make that walk. There's no freaking way. No way. And every last one of us took it seriously. And Alicia's right. That's got to be the hardest challenge, dealing with the general public, because they do not understand that kind of mental fortitude and toughness. I think my shoulder was separated a week before by Nick when we left.
By the way, that was me wrestling Joe, and I broke his ass. All right, so that's what happened.
It was a hip throw that went too far, and my shoulder popped out. But
hey, Karen wants to talk. Joe, shut up.
Love you.
You're right, though, Joe. 100%.
One of the things I've been working on the last couple of months is kind of a reevaluation of how resilience and performance skills are being taught in the Army. And my feeling, I don't like the word resilience. I hate it. And I think they hired people like me and like what Alicia's doing to work with people in the Army like they're tactical athletes. And so if I'm working with you the way I work with an elite athlete, because my background's UCLA, I never talked about resilience. I never took them in a classroom and showed them PowerPoints. I worked with them out on the field to be a better performer. And if I teach you how to be an optimal performer, being resilient is a side effect of that. So I say, focus on the win, focus on, okay, be the best you can be. And then it all falls into place. But I propose, this is what I believe should be done. I think they should start teaching the mental skills in basic training. That's where they should start. So you're talking about the bell curve, and Alicia was talking about, the different types of people you're going to get. And athletes have the mindset, like you guys, to go train hard and do what you have to do and be able to go on that walk you were talking about. But then your gamer may not have that mindset. So they need to be taught at basic training how to develop that mindset. And if they can't cut it, they should be out. And that's just my thought.
Agreed.
Karen, yeah, you're going to trigger Buddy here pretty quick.
100%.
You've already triggered, buddy. You've already triggered me.
So you're when Karen's in contact.
Triggered. I can't.
Karen's in contact with the Pentagon, and I appreciate she reached out, and I wrote a paper about something like that, and it was weird. I was able to write a 5-page paper in about 1 minute, based off of just my experience and understanding of what was going on in the Army. So what Joe was talking about was that deployment experience. Well, it just was, because it was that easy. Joe, what Joe was talking about, he said it. What he just said was a 3-page paper. Okay. Because he lived through that. So Joe could have wrote a 3-page paper just off of what he just freaking said. Okay. It's that simple. Joe was saying that and like you even commented, Dave, that, we were trained for that. All right. None of us were trained for that when we got there. But by the time we got to Bakuba, we had been on the field, experience that it was like we were monsters. So that's exactly what Karen is saying. It's like when she worked at UCLA, and I'm sure when Alicia worked at Kentucky, she didn't have to go there and explain to these guys why they were there.
Right.
Like, you're here to win. You're here to play football. You're here to run track, right?
And the top 1%
Can I do my honesty
of high
caveat?
school athletes.
Buddy, I'm going to lead into you. I'm going to lead into you. All right. So, Buddy, is an SF guy. It took him about 18 years to get there, and we all love him for it, but he's there, and he's better than all of us because he wears a green beret, and we love him for that, okay? However, he's still from Alabama, and we have to spell shit out for him. And then there's Dave smoking a cigarette. So again, when you get coronavirus 20 years from now, I'm not going to feel sorry for you, all right? Coronavirus is going to judge the shit out of you. Anyways.
I'm waiting for that judgment.
The SF community is different, okay? The Spec Ops community is different, all right? Those guys want to be there.
Well, they also have Karens in their units, right? Like, not even joking around. You guys have individuals.
Right.
Yeah.
So we want everybody to be killers, but the fact of the matter is that we're here to stop soldier suicide. That's our main goal, okay? We don't need to take the whole hit on that, though. The Army doesn't, okay? Because we get people from society. Society needs to take some of the hit on that shit. All right, not just the Army, okay? And that's what Buddy's getting triggered about, is like we shouldn't care about their feelings because, yeah, generals need to win wars. Okay?
Are you done yet? Buddy's
I'm not done yet, Buddy. I'm gonna lead into
Oh
you.
my God! Shut the fuck up!
I'm doing it on purpose to make you angry, Buddy. As soon as I smelt that blood in the water, Buddy, I got it. Okay, so I'm making you more mad because I'm a producer of productivity. Okay, so can you be a producer of production? Does that make sense? Anyways, so I am producing you, Buddy. I am getting you pumped up. All right, tell us where we are going. Give us that honesty. Give us that honesty, Cap, Buddy. I want to hear it.
Shout out to 10th Mountain real quick before Buddy goes. Big supporter.
This honesty cap is definitely sponsored by 10th.
Okay, so first of all, let's go back to my normal topic: the lack of tank tops on our page, on our store. I just want to tell everybody that you can make your own tank top. And if you make your own tank top, you get a free hat. Comes with it. It is
Buddy,
awesome. It
say
holds
that again.
your wavy hair back. Joe,
made
you
the-
have
the
no idea
grenade
what I'm talking
sleeve
about,
of
but
bandana.
if you have hair, it holds it back. You can do all the physical stuff you want to do.
My wife just said you're so cool.
He's special forces.
I agree with her.
VeteranTrashTalk.com. Check it out.
All right.
love it.
Thank you.
Buddy, talk
Second-
again. The little one wants to see you. She wants to
Second
see if
part
that's
of
cool or not.
my honesty cap tonight, and it wasn't going to be until you started talking, Nick, and Karen started talking. But we give soldiers the option to quit. When the fuck was that a thing? When was that a thing where you had the option to say no? Like, I'm not going to go do that. Are you fucking kidding me? There is no option to quit. There is no quitting. Quitting is not a thing. When you die, then you're done. That's when you're finished. Other than that, quitting is not an option. Making yourself better is an option. Going to the gym is an option. Listening to your team leader and squad leader is an option. Quitting is not a fucking option. It's not a thing that you can do.
Are you
Because
talking
you're
basic
not
training now,
quitting
buddy?
yourself.
Because
I
if
don't
the
think
quitters
you're
in
supposed to
basic
quit
training
on your
quit,
team.
I want them to quit.
I'm saying get them out. Throw them out.
Get them
I'm
out.
not
If
doing
Yeah.
that.
training, I want
Yeah,
them to quit.
here's
What,
the thing.
buddy,
It's all
what are
about
they doing?
economy, supply and demand. Yeah, get them out if they have to get out. But here's the thing: we don't have enough people to just kick all of them out. We don't get to
That
pick
is
our
true.
own team. This ain't T-ball.
Damn
where
recruiters aren't doing their
everybody gets to
jobs.
play. But it isn't Division I baseball where just a few get to play. There are gonna be people that are on the border of both.
I played Division I
things.
baseball, buddy.
Baseball's stupid. It's the dumbest sport ever. Anyway,
I'm just saying I played it. And I was
It's
good.
still-
and you're
listen,
also stupid. But
You
anyway,
may say it's dumb. It's the hardest sport there is to play. Point blank.
yeah,
period.
you ever been
Not a
hit
question.
by a linebacker? That's real.
Joe,
that's
Joe,
real.
Buddy, are
mentioned
you
that before.
shitting me? The fucking linebackers didn't even know I had the ball
That's
by the
because
time I
you
was
were
behind
only
the safety.
120
Because I
pounds.
ran a
Calm down.
4.340,
Nick
you
just
fucking
said
clown.
it.
Don't
You were
talk to
baby-
me
you
about
were a baby
football.
playing
You have
football.
no
That's not-
clue
That's not the
at all.
linebacker's fault.
I'm a level of athlete 4 or 5 steps above you. Don't even talk.
That was like 20 years ago, Joe.
5
Maybe.
steps.
Maybe 20 years ago.
Dave,
Okay,
Maybe.
Karen's
I
talking
love
now.
Justin.
Shut up. Karen's talking.
buddy, my point is, if you've got 8
Has-
soldiers on profile, you know, how is that helping? And if you have
But
somebody
Karen, here's
wait,
the problem.
if you had somebody like me work with them for 2 months and they're not doing anything that I'm asking them to do, and they don't have it in their head that they even want to be there, how is that helping the Army?
You know what? You're right. But the problem is that the Army has left that venue. They think that they can go to you, or they can go to a physical therapist, or they can go to sick call 100 times a damn week, and then they can get kicked out of the Army and get paid for the rest of their lives to do it.
No, buddy, you're right. You're
That is
right
a good
there.
point.
But
That is a
but
good
what Karen, what Karen's saying is that she needs to be in the field. That's the problem.
Oh,
so
you're- I don't disagree with Karen at all. In fact,
she's
in our
agreeing with
community,
you.
in the SF community. We have people like Karen that come to our training events
Right.
to evaluate guys. Like the one of the best echoes I ever had. Echoes is a communication sergeant for all of you people that don't habla. One of the best
Habla what?
communication
Special
sergeants I
forces?
ever had was a straight up
Spiker? Habla Spiker?
was it? I don't think you really want to talk. Anyway, one of the best communications guys I ever had was a straight up nerd in a house. That dude looked like he was walking through like Frankenstein. He went to dive school 3 different times. Well, to MAC 3 different times, the Maritime Assessment Course 3 different times. We ended up sending him to a sports psychologist to go over what he was doing in MAC. That dude was not allowed to quit, had no quit in him, and went ahead, and he sucked ass. When he graduated, one of the instructors gave him his dive bubble and told him he was the worst combat diver that had ever lived. And he was. That
He kept
being
pushing.
said,
He kept pushing. Yeah.
he wasn't allowed to quit. Anywhere we ever went, that dude never, ever quit. And that's the thing that we don't push enough to these privates. You can fail. Failing is fine if you retry. Quitting is never an option. Eating 15 pizzas on a weekend is not an option. Quitting is not an option. Doing extra PT is an option. Watching what you eat is an option. Sending a team leader to this dude to eat breakfast and lunch to make sure that he's eating and he's eating something that's actually good for him is an option. As NCOs, we have put so much bullshit on enablers. We put so much on physical therapists, medics, like nutritionists, all that. Do your goddamn job. Go with your soldiers to eat lunch. If they're eating pizza, tell them to put that shit back and grab a goddamn salad and some protein. Like,
No, you're
do
right,
your
buddy.
job, be an NCO, and do what NCOs do.
Can
And
I
I
ask a
agree.
question?
Alicia's got a question.
Okay, so I totally agree with everything that you just said. But I'm wondering, like, you know, where is like the level of support? So maybe not for officers, but enlisted, like people living in the barracks. Like, where is the level of support as far as like what they have access to and like the education? So coming from an
You would
example-
be you would literally be amazed. Even in the regular Army, there are nutritionists that guys can go to if they're going. But the problem is that at the breakfast meal, we can watch them.
Right,
At
but
the
I'm
lunch
looking at
meal,
like
you
a
can watch them.
photograph that I was literally sent today of the well, you can't see it for those listening, but it is the fitness table at the wherever you eat, the DFAC.
Yeah.
And it's literally the only thing on it is a box of granola with raisins. And that's the
not good.
fitness table. That's like
Where is that though?
this is in Camp Rudder.
Well, it's Camp Rudder. Here's the deal.
Blasted
At
Camp
Camp
Rudder.
Rudder, you need all the calories you can get.
Right, but not if you're an RI.
Yeah,
That is
well,
true.
The RIs,
Hey,
That's a different
So-
story. And some of them are not as good as others, right, Nick?
Right, exactly. Our eyes, there's some bad ones. Anyways, and that's what I told Karen. When Karen said that, hey, Alicia, I know some RIs, a captain. And I was like, is it a commander or is it an RI? There's a big difference because the commander's on a second term down there and he probably sucks. So like, but the captain RI is pretty good. Anyways, so I think I can put some perspective on this again. All right. So Buddy's saying is right. What Karen's saying, and then what Alicia's bringing up is the education factor. So the enablers, they're hired in the wrong way in the DOD. All right. The enablers are supposed to be on the line. They're supposed to be there making sure that people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Not, oh, hey, you suck. Go see Karen. Okay. Karen's supposed to freaking be there already. And I love how you brought that up, buddy, about the DFAC, because when I was in college, all right, playing where big boys played, where Joe couldn't go because he was too little. All right. Like when I was playing in college, I literally ate 4 times a day. And I didn't get to pick what I ate. He goes,
Yeah.
What do you like here? This or that? And I was like, that. Okay, this or that, this or that. Then I had a full plate, right? And I put on like 25 pounds from 2 days in football till when I went home on Thanksgiving, because we didn't make a bowl game because we sucked. All right. So I go home on Thanksgiving and my dad's like, are you taking steroids? And I was like, no,
Nick,
I literally
Nick,
just.
what were you doing during the day though? What were you
Well,
doing? Were you sitting
like
around?
like
doing nothing?
Alicia brought up.
That's mindset.
Alicia brought up recovery. All right, recovery.
Yeah.
So these enablers are supposed to be on the freaking line. These enablers are supposed to tell a company commander, hey, from 2 to 4 they recover. Right? That's what they do. And we're getting there as an army. We're just late. And that's what again.
So are you guys
Go ahead,
familiar
Karen.
with, are you familiar with H2F? Anybody?
I am. I read the whole thing. We did a show on it with Sergeant Major Troxel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that they're moving
Nope.
in the right direction.
I did, Dave.
But they're moving.
I
in the
know
right
you did. I
direction
was agreeing with you.
because what they're doing is they're taking teams like what you have in special ops, but they're taking teams to the brigade. That's their whole premise. So they're going to have a nutritionist and a physical therapist, a sports psych person. I'm going to say that's amazing. The next step is all those people need to be out in the field too. So that's what I was saying. I agree with you, but I think we should never be teaching in a classroom. We should be out in the field with the soldiers where we can see them breaking down, where we can help them not to quit. I don't believe in quitting at all. My daughter will tell you that.
Agree.
I'm
And,
like,
and Karen, let
right.
me hit on that and with the buddy talking about the quitting stuff. So if we had the reach to implement this right now. So Karen, are you saying implement it in basic training where you have access to individuals like you and Alicia? In my opinion, basic training, like Buddy says, nobody should be a quitter. In basic training, if they want to quit, let them quit. Because that's not the type of person we need.
No.
I disagree with that.
No.
Dave, that's not what
Their
I said.
parents let them quit. Their fucking mother and father let them quit. They had 18 years to learn a behavior, and we have 13 weeks to train that out.
Right.
They had 18 years.
We're breaking
that
them
their
down and
parents
we're turning
gave
them into
every
soldiers.
fucking
Now we're going to
excuse
tie
in
in.
the
Like,
book
I think
to be
Go
a
ahead,
piece of
go ahead.
shit. And now
But if
we
they're
have to
not-
train them out of them. They have to learn that they are part of something bigger than themselves.
100%.
They are
I
part
agree
of a
with that.
team.
But if they want to quit, if they can't even make it to basic,
Nope.
they need to fucking bounce. And then when they get to
Mom's
they
basic.
need to have, that's just my opinion.
Nah.
They get to
Nope.
then we need people like Karen that are in battalions, working with platoons, squads, all of that. But if they can't even make
How
it,
exactly?
basic
How
training
exactly are
IIT?
they going to fix that though, Dave?
we don't know. That's what we're talking about, Joe.
That's
People in football.
implementing what she's talking about costs money, and everything about the army
No,
is
you
always
missed-
lowest
you missed
bidder.
what I started off with. Yes,
Okay, but
I
you know
agree with
what?
that.
No, I
Let me
didn't.
say
No, I
something.
didn't. I'm just saying what Karen's talking about is the right thing, but it costs money to actually implement that and change a system.
No
And
shit. We realize that. We're asking where would we do it? That was
Karen, you see what you started? You see what you did?
I
You see what
I
you
love
did,
it.
Karen?
Nick,
Karen,
You're
I-
getting them to
Nick, I
think.
love
You're
it.
getting them to think.
Karen,
This is
you
beautiful.
agreed earlier, right? Basic training. If they want to quit, let them bounce, right?
But
Get 'em
I
to-
think if you cannot see some type of change in 13 weeks, get them out.
Exactly.
Because they're going to be a problem.
Thank you, Karen. That's all I was
Yeah,
saying.
you get that, buddy?
But
You hear
Dave,
that?
but
Get
Dave,
that, Joe.
but Dave,
Get that, Joe. Keep watching football. Come on now.
Dave,
Everybody
Dave,
calm down.
Dave, what he's
Everybody's
talking
yelling.
about
I don't like it.
Bundesliga is no. What I'm saying is they will pass that shit uphill. Shit does roll uphill, like Buddy says, and it is the old culture. So what Karen is saying is right, but it doesn't happen, and you know it doesn't. So
Yeah,
it
but
needs to be.
Karen's a part of it, Joe. So
She's a part
Karen's
of it,
like,
Joe.
she's attached to it in the
Exactly.
system that is exactly saying what Buddy's saying. She's
agree with
trying
Buddy,
to
too.
tell you. She's trying to tell the smarter people listening that they need to be not an enabler that you get sent to. They need to be there to tell the commander, not that guy, not that guy,
100%.
not that guy. Like those 20 we can save. Those 4 out. Like Dunsky.
Done.
Like
Well,
that's where they need to be. Like that's where they. Am I wrong, Karen?
Nick, can I get a new soapbox? Because I think the problem is Dave. Then
I still haven't finished mine.
He put
Thank
83
you.
people in the
I haven't
Army in
finished.
1
I
year.
haven't finished my
How
own
many
They,
of
the
those guys were
recruiter, the
shitbags?
recruiters have a mission, Joe. They have a mission. All right, and
And
if
Joe
they have to
Sarn's job is to either push him through or kick him out.
Dave, how many of those 83 in that year did you push through that you were like,
2 of them
I
failed
got him
basic
in the-
training.
Hey, Alicia, do you watch UFC?
Yes. Sometimes.
Yeah.
You. Did you watch the fights today?
I did.
yeah.
So we have Bill and Joe here that are our experts.
Bill, I'm
They
waiting on
were
you.
they were
Where's Bill?
emotional. Bill's on there. They were emotional, and they only got one fight wrong. So they picked
Bill, you should
5
cut
or
the shirt.
6.
You should cut the sleeves off your shirt, Bill.
Yeah, and you can make
Yeah.
it a tank
Bill-
top.
Bill's
Anyways,
in a,
and
Bill's
then
in
a
a
hat.
dick bag. He's got some class. He's not doing that.
So Bill, who won today between you and Joe?
Here's the. All right, I'm gonna get on a Joe. Before you get excited, you gotta let me finish.
I
You
asked a
didn't.
real easy question,
No,
Bill.
yes or no, Bill? Joe or Bill? Who won
Who won?
Nobody won. We tied.
Oh.
again?
So earlier today, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, we agreed to a rule change. And if we would have enacted it today, I would have won by 1, so I'd be up by 2. But since we tied, I'm still up by 1. So again, king of battle is still the king. But we tied today.
Nice. Decent
We-
fight
we-
card. Decent fight
We
card.
The
we
king never
also
ties. He always
But more
wins.
importantly, if you bet with Joe and I, we will triple your money.
just
every
look
time.
at the page. Just look at the page. I showed my bet slips. It's too easy. You don't, Bill. How many people other than me would you pick a 6-fight parlay with?
Nobody.
There you go. I wouldn't pick it
Like
with
this-
anybody
buddy.
but you either. We are listen. Listen, it's gonna happen one day, and I'm not really worried about it. I'm not worried about it happening, but someone is gonna see that Nick's picking over 60% in the NFL, we're picking over 85% in the UFC, and no one's really using it. One day someone with some money is gonna actually smarten up and make some
I'm glad
off
you
of it.
brought that up because the Packers have about 7 guys that are now doubtful after some kind of Thursday practice that they had. So you might want to take that lock off. But I
But
still
again-
got
That
3 of
dust
them.
cloud from
Anyways,
China.
You can introduce me to Aaron Rodgers, Nick. I'm waiting.
Anyways, so we had Karen and we had Alicia on the show tonight, and it was an absolute pleasure to listen to their expertise. So Alicia and then Karen, you ladies get the last word before Joe closes us out. So Alicia, thanks for coming on the show. Just give us some advice.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, just kind of what I talked about. Be willing to be open. If this is what you want to do, ask questions, find somebody you admire, find somebody who's done it, who is already doing it well, see what they're doing, talk to people who are in the industry. But at the basics of it, it's going to be a squat, hinge, push, pull, carry, and you'll be okay. But take ownership over what you do. Don't expect, and this goes for anything, don't expect everybody else to just show up and do the work for you. There has to be intent behind everything that you do.
Cheers.
All right, Karen, last word.
I would just say model perseverance for the soldiers under you. Absolutely get to know them better, be there with them. If you see a soldier with a problem, I agree with Nick. Don't just send them to somebody else to go fix it. Be a part of that and see them all the way through. That's it.
Thank you very much, Karen. Trash Talkers, thank you so much. Want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Ventura Training and Athletics, 10th Mountain Distilleries. It's been a good one, Trash Talkers. I'm watching the rest of this game. Peace out.
Deuces. Great show. I love that.
Says, are we still live?
And we put a poll on the Facebook page for Joe's Beard. Joe's Beard poll. I call it.
Go
Hey,
ahead, buddy.
I
Buddy,
think
go
we're
ahead, buddy.
still live. I think we're still live right now, so keep it
Buddy,
going.
buddy, throw a poll out on the page whether my beard is natural or not. I love
Oh,
it.
did
Go
Suds
ahead and do it.
disappear?
Yeah, he's
The
doing his,
biscuits
he's
broke
doing
him
his
a fourth
Asian
and
thing.
four. Okay,
right, we're
I'm
still
sorry. No
probably
more high
live.
fives. No more high fives.
Buddy, we should have carried that discussion on a little bit longer. I'm serious about the basic training and kicking people out or kick them out when they get to their units.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Why
Like,
can't we
there are
Why can't we
plenty
do a
of
whole
guys
podcast on that, Dave?
No, that's
their
fine. I'm just,
default,
we could
their
have just kept
default
going.
is quitting because that's what their shitty ass parents
Yes,
taught
you're
them.
right.
Yeah, turn it
was
on. Keep
quitting.
it on. We're still live.
But there's
Dave
a
wants to
Okay,
keep it.
whatever.
Dave wants to
Turn
keep
it
it
off.
going.
Shitty ass parents taught them that.
No,
You know what?